Democratic National Convention wrapped up in Chicago last night with Vice President Kamala Harris promising to be a president for all Americans as she accepted her party's nomination.
In her acceptance speech, Harris laid out her policy vision for the nation and took on her opponent, former President Donald Trump. Harris is the first Black and South Asian woman to officially receive a major U.S. party's presidential nomination.
CBS News reporter Caroline Cummings joins us this morning live from Chicago. Good morning, Caroline.
Well, good morning to you both. So inside the United Center this morning, it is quiet now. The cleaning crews for hours have been popping the balloons and cleaning up the confetti, marking the end to the Democratic National Convention and the kickstart to the home stretch of the general election campaign.
A historic night in Chicago as Vice President Kamala Harris accepted the 2024 Democratic nomination for president.
America, we are not going back.
Harris vowed to create an opportunity economy, push for a Middle East ceasefire deal, and revive the failed bipartisan immigration bill. The former California Attorney General also made her case against former President Donald Trump.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
Supporters at a watch party in Harris's hometown, Oakland, say the energy during the speech was electrifying.
You tear up because you know how important it is.
The theme of the final day of the Democratic National Convention was For Our Future, with the focus on some key domestic issues.
We have a duty to care for our patriots who serve our nation.
From the military to gun violence.
Our losses do not weaken us. They strengthen our resolve.
The night featured appeals from battleground state Democrats.
Kamala Harris, she gets us.
Are we going to fight? Are we going to vote?
And a former GOP congressman.
I'm putting our country first.
There were also musical performances from the Chicks and Pink.
What about love? What about trust? What about us?
And there were 100,000 balloons that dropped last night, and it took dozens of people to make that happen. That's really kind of the bookend to this 4-day stretch here in Chicago. Jameson and Jenny.
Yeah, Caroline, the week concludes now. So heading into the polls last night, some of those are heading into last night at the DNC. Some of the polls showed that most Americans said that they had a pretty good feeling on what Donald Trump's policies were, but they said not so much about what Kamala Harris was all about. You being there last night, do you feel like Harris did a good job laying out her policy plan and really stepping out of Joe Biden's shadow?
Right. So last night her speech was a mix of a couple of different things, a little bit of a personal story introduction, and she also drew the contrast between her and former President Donald Trump. But she did touch on some policies that she wants to see through, namely immigration, a top issue for voters. She said that she supports that deal that Congress had put together before it failed to get across the finish line, and also, of course, doubling down on abortion rights. But I'm sure voters will still be asking those questions as, you know, they try to make their informed decision going into November. Guys.